For today's video, I'm going to be replacing the water pump on this 2009 Dodge Ram 2500 6.7 Cummins. And the reason I'm doing it is I got a little bit of a pulley chirping, and I'm making an educated guess that it's the water pump. So I don't have a leak or anything. I'll let you hear it. It's not really noticeable. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's really could be mistaken for part of normal engine sound, but other 6.7s don't have that sound. So I'm just going to do the water pump today, see what happens. If it doesn't cure the issue, it's probably going to be the tensioner or the idler, but we'll take this one step at a time. I'm also going to be doing new coolant and a new radiator cap as well. Here is our tools and parts. We've got the water pump and radiator cap sitting there. Xerox G05 coolant, 100% non-diluted, and 2 gallons of distilled water. It may or may not take more than this, but if it doesn't, then we've got all new coolant. If it does, then we'll reuse a little bit of our old coolant. Over there I've got a 5-gallon bucket ready to drain the radiator. And just an assortment of sockets and ratcheting wrenches. Who knows what I'm going to need. I've got a breaker bar. You're going to need a breaker bar too. A bunch of other tools. So I'm coming underneath here, looking up at the radiator. There's a dial here you got to loosen, and that'll allow fluid to drain out of the radiator. Just twist it to the left. So while that's draining, we got a few things to do. To create more room, we're going to have to loosen these fan shroud bolts, which we'll have to do anyways to actually get the belt off of the water pump and everything. It's not something I would have had to do on the 5.9, but on the 6.7, you got to crack these bolts loose. There are a few more underneath. Let's see if I can see that for you. Right there, there's one, and there's one right on the other side as well. Now to remove the belt, loosen the belt, I've got a breaker bar up there. It's locked into a notch on the tensioner pulley. This is why we had to remove the fan shroud. It's in the way. So I'm just pushing towards the driver's side. You can see how, or passenger side, you can see how it's loosening there. You just got to slip the belt off the AC if you're by yourself. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Just looking down through the top, there's the water pump right there. And there's two 10mm bolts that hold that in place. So the challenge is reach down there with the probably a 3/8 socket with a 10mm socket head on it, and unbolt those 2 bolts and pull that old pump off, and we'll install the new one. Okay, so here's our new water pump. It is a CarQuest lifetime warranty pump, and it's got the plastic fan blades on it, and you can see here there's the gap for your gasket, which here's our rubber gasket, and RTV is needed for this. Kind of going to just fill this area in with a bead. There's probably better RTVs than Ultra Black, but Ultra Black's fine. Just looked it up on Permatex's website. They're like, yes, Ultra Black will be fine for water pumps. But they make the blue and the clear RTV. I've used clear in the past, but forgot about it and had the Ultra Black. So we'll be going with the Ultra Black. And I'll get this started to give it a chance to dry and form a gasket seal. Both bolts on the old pump have been broken loose, and this is my setup right here. 3/8, small extension, 10mm. The top bolt was a little bit stuck, so I took a deep socket and an extension on there to give more leverage. So I'm going to attempt to pull this out on camera through the top. It's there. I'm going to have to use 2 hands now. Okay, here's our old pump. You can see it's rusty, but I'm not really hearing any squeaks when I spin this. It is old, same style, plastic inside, and yeah, it wasn't leaking, so I'm not sure if this is actually going to solve that chirp or not. Here's the new one. Weep holes right there, so when you install it like this, the weep hole at closer to the ground. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that done real quick. Okay, right down there is our new water pump installed. It was a little bit painful of a process with this fan shroud here, but I got it done. 18 foot-pounds is all those bolts go down to. It's not very tight. What I'm going to do now is I'm not going to put coolant in yet. I'm going to get the belt on and get everything else done besides putting coolant in the truck. I'm giving that gasket more time to dry. So that gasket's only been on there for about a half hour, maybe 35-40 minutes. So I'm going to take a quick break, come back, put the belt on, and then we'll put some coolant in. Alright, I got about 10 minutes more to wait. So I want to talk about water pumps a little bit. 6.7 versus 5.9. This pump looks just pretty much the same as my 5.9 pump does, except my 5.9 has metal blades on the inside. The 6.7 has the plastic. Both pumps are CarQuest pumps. Usually these pumps will spring a leak. This gasket will wear out and they'll spring a leak, and that's how you know when to replace them. But in this case, that wasn't true, and I was concerned about the actual pulley and the bearings in there, because if that was making some of that noise and is responsible for that kind of chirping noise, I was worried that, you know, the bearings are worn out, it's going to heat up, it's going to cause a fire, or this whole thing's going to break and the truck will eat the belt and leave me stranded on the roadside. So I didn't want that to happen, and this is that pulley that I think could do that, and on the 6.7 trucks, these are kind of infamous. The idler pulley and the tensioner, I don't think if those are a little squeaky, I don't think they're going anywhere. They're bolted down. Those pulleys aren't going to go anywhere. This one I felt to be a safety hazard. So if that is, you know, that chirping noise was kind of warning me, I wanted to make sure that I got it replaced before it became a disaster. So we'll see once I put the new coolant in. This is something I wanted to do anyways. The weather's getting warm, and unfortunately it's going to be about 7 or 8 months before it's going to be nice to work on trucks again, weather-wise. But getting this done with new coolant in time for the, you know, scorching summer, it's a good upgrade. Plus the radiator cap. Here's our old coolant. I wish it was in a white container so you could see better, but it's actually in pretty good shape. I can see the bottom of the container, and no solid particles floating around in this. That looks pretty good. Yeah, nothing really to complain about with that old coolant. Okay, so far I've put 2 gallons of coolant down in that funnel and 1.5 gallons of water, and it's up to the top. And it's time for us to fire the truck up and see how it does. There is, up here, right there, that thing that says vent here during coolant fill. Well, that's stuck for me. But, so I'm doing it the old-fashioned way, just starting the truck and making sure it's full, just like I would do on the 5.9. So, yeah, I ended up spilling water over here, so that's why I always do water second. I put all the coolant in, and then I do water, so that if you spill it, it's just water. It will make it a little bit tougher to see if we have leaks, but I'll figure it out. So let's go fire the truck up, and I think we'll end up fitting that other 1/2 gallon of water in. Check for leaks, and we'll be going on a test drive then. The belt is good. I'm still hearing that chirp. Dang it. Oh well, at least I made a video for y'all. Listening to the engine, it's not coming from the pulleys, I don't think. I think it's actually coming from in here, and it could be the EGR. making that noise. Yeah, I don't think it's the anything on the belt at all. All right, we're out on a test drive, first test drive, and we didn't have any leaks when we idled for about 5 minutes. Now we're just getting it up to temp, getting the RPMs up a little bit. We're in 5th gear, 1500 RPMs right now, and yes, so check for leaks when we get back. Hopefully all these puddles don't make me think there's a leak. But yeah, we should be good to go. That's all there is to it. And we didn't fix that noise I hear, but it sounds like that noise is coming from the EGR, which there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about that besides delete, which may happen someday. Anyways, we got a new water pump. It's fine. It's got a lifetime warranty, so we should be in pretty good shape. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one.